So in today's video, I want to talk about ball retention and the importance of ball retention and how to actually improve, improve your ability to keep the ball, hold on to the ball, and just lose possession a lot less. Because in my opinion, the most frustrating thing as a player is when you're losing possession. You know, when your team is stringing 5 or 6 passes together, 7 passes, and then the ball comes back to you, and then you just end up losing the ball, and everyone and you can hear like the collective sigh in your team. Everyone's like, oh my days. Because trust me, in my opinion, there's nothing more frustrating than just losing the ball constantly, just constantly in a game getting dispossessed. Like me personally, and I know for a lot of players, we can miss shots. What's it called? Maybe you put a cross into the box and it doesn't go to your intended target. Or maybe you miss time a tackle. Like, all of that is cool in my opinion, but the most annoying thing, like the thing that's gonna derail your confidence the most, in my opinion, is when you just keep losing the ball in open play. Whether that's you trying to play passes, or you trying to dribble in the middle of the pitch, or on the wing, or wherever it is. Even if it doesn't matter if you're a centre back, you're right back, centre mid, striker, just losing the ball in open play a lot. And just constantly, turning the ball over, putting your team under pressure, making your team vulnerable to a counter attack. That's just like the most annoying thing. That's just the most annoying thing in my opinion. And I know a lot of players, throughout the game, they start to lose confidence when that starts to happen. They start to get down on themselves. They stop showing for the ball. I'm pretty sure we've all been there where we're having a terrible game, like where we're just playing absolute trash, and then you sort of, even if you don't consciously do it, you subconsciously just start losing confidence. You're not showing for the ball as much. You're starting to panic on it. You're starting to overthink as well. You're starting to be like, once you actually get onto the ball, you start hesitating. Maybe there's a pass that you'd normally play, but then you don't play that pass. Instead of playing that forward pass that you normally play, you play sideways, or you play backwards. And I know me personally, this was probably the thing that let me down the most in terms of my confidence. This was the thing that would like derail my confidence. Like I said, just losing the ball in open play. It was so frustrating. It got to the point where I remember, I think I was like 13, 14, and I'd literally count every single time I lost the ball. So I'd say to myself, once I go onto the pitch, I'll be like, yo, I can't lose the ball more than 5 times today. And then maybe I'd lose it once, and I'd be counting it in my head. I'd be like, alright, cool, I lost the ball once, I can't lose it again. Then it'll happen again. Maybe it happens again. Maybe Maybe I don't turn the ball over that much that game, and everything's fine. But then there's other times where you turn the ball over a lot. But to be honest, that mentality of thinking about how many times you misplace passes, in my opinion, as a young player, you shouldn't do that, because it doesn't allow you to play freely. It doesn't allow you to enter the flow state. You understand? I was too concerned about losing the ball, which led to maybe me not playing a forward pass, maybe me taking less risk, maybe me playing it too safe at times. You understand? Obviously, I'm talking about when I was like 13, 14, 15, those sort of ages. It led to me sort of, not taking as many risks on the ball, not wanting to, get the ball and dribble and dribble or take someone on. You understand? Because I was so scared. I was too caught up in I don't wanna lose the ball, because you'd see those. I remember around that time as well, I'd see those statistics of like the midfielders. I'd see like 88% pass completion for this player, 95% pass completion for this player. I remember I was watching Chelsea one day, and I was watching Jorginho. I remember when Jorginho first came to the Prem, this guy, Chelsea were cooking when he first came to the Prem, and this guy was bopping the ball about, and every single game I'd see, Jorginho, 100% completion rate. Pass completion, 95 pass completion, 93 pass completion. So I wanted to be like that as well, but obviously that ended up in me, not entering the flow state, just playing it too safe at times, and getting down on myself too much for losing the ball. There might be a game where I'd only lose the ball about 3 times, because I literally counted in my head, I've only lost the ball 3 times, but I was still getting down on myself about losing the ball 3 times. But anyway, about ball retention, I'm going to teach you how to improve your ball retention. Whether that's, making sure you complete your passes, not getting caught on the ball, knowing how to protect the ball when you get into those sort of physical battles where you're on the ball. Maybe there's two players around you, or maybe there's one player around you who's trying to dispossess you, and how to keep it, basically. So the first point is literally a very simple point. It's just to check your shoulders. Now, the reason I keep banging on about checking your shoulders for ball retention is that once you check your shoulders and you actually see what's around you, you know how many touches to take in that sort of scenario. You know what type of touch to take. You know if you need to take a touch to the left, a touch to the right, if you need to take a directional touch, if you need to take it on your back foot, on your front foot. It just, obviously, like I said, scanning your shoulders, it just gives you the awareness, so you know. Because when you scan your shoulders, you're pretty much guaranteed to make the right decision every single time. Most of the time when you get dispossessed, especially as a midfielder, as I used to be a midfielder, it was more times you just didn't know your surroundings. You didn't know how much time you had. Maybe you thought you had a lot of time, but then there was a man on your back. Maybe it was a time where your teammates didn't shout man on, and then you end up getting dispossessed. Or maybe even this happens as well. Maybe there's a time where you could have taken that back foot touch and played forward, but because you didn't know what was around you, you decided to play back. You decided to, bounce it back to your centre back, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but in that situation you want to be positive. When you get to the next level, your coaches are going to be looking at you like, yo, he should have turned out with the ball and played forward, set your team on the counter attack. So literally just checking your shoulders. And another thing about checking your shoulders with ball retention is that you just end up having so much, you end up finding yourself having so much time on the ball. When you look at guys like Modric, guys like Kroos, guys like Xavi even, you rarely see them, battling with opponents for the ball. It always feels like when they receive it, they have so much time. Like there's rarely a time where you see, let's take Xavi for example. There's rarely, obviously it happens in games, but it's very rare where you'll see him, battling with like his midfield opponent for possession. It always feels like Xavi's in the right place at the right time to receive the ball and just play without extreme pressure, you understand? And that just comes from, just constantly scanning, just aware, constantly scanning, constantly being aware. Because obviously, Xavi, he's a decent dribbler, but like he's not, like Messi level dribbling. He's not like Iniesta level dribbling. He knows his strengths, he knows his weaknesses, so he knows that, alright, cool. Because I'm not an elite dribbler like some other players, I need to be constantly, scanning. Needs to be constantly picking up spaces where I actually have time on the ball to, take a touch and actually decide my next move. So that's the first point. Literally, like I said, I keep banging on about it every single vid, but you have to check it. You have to check your shoulders, honestly. Literally, just if you're doing drills, if you're doing wall passes, whatever you're doing, literally just get into the habit of literally just what's it called? Literally just keep getting into the habit of just checking your shoulders. Literally just move your head and just keep checking your shoulders. As you play a pass, check your shoulder. As you play a pass, check your shoulder. And literally just do it like that. That's how you get into the habit, into the routine. It's gonna feel weird at first, but eventually once you get onto the pitch, you're just gonna find yourself just instinctively just going like this. And then, like I said, you're gonna start losing the ball way less because you're going to find yourself in more space and you're just going to know what to do on the ball because you know your surroundings before you even get on it. So that's the first point. And then the second point for learning how to retain the ball better is literally, in my opinion, to work on your strength, work on your power. Now, what I mean by this is that I'm not talking about, upper body. I'm not necessarily saying, go to the gym, do bicep curls, do upper body weight exercises. Obviously, you need to do that. Obviously, I'd still recommend, you do your bench press, you do your pull-ups, you do your chin-ups, all of that. But I feel like when it comes to ball retention, I'm more talking about your core and your legs. Because obviously, let's take your core for example. You need your core. Your core is the one that stabilizes you. What are people gonna try to do when you're on the ball? They're gonna try to destabilize you. They're gonna try to get you off the ball. They're gonna try, shoulder barge you off the ball. They're gonna try, get the main objective is to get you off balance so they can nick the ball and win the ball for their team. Obviously, so obviously you need to have a strong core, and then obviously your legs as well. Obviously you gotta have power in your legs because obviously. When you're protecting the ball, what's the main phrase? You have to get your body in between the ball and the man, and obviously you gotta have firm legs. You gotta make sure you plant your foot. Obviously the ball's on your other foot, but you plant that front foot, you plant that standing foot, and then you make sure that the defender can't get the balls. Now, for this, it's literally just about, like I said, doing leg exercises and doing core exercises. Now, it's a variety of things to do, but in my opinion, if you're struggling to find it online, just stick to the basics. In my opinion, just do your just start going to the gym, start doing squats, variations of squats, variations of one-legged squats. In my opinion, start doing like RDLs. Obviously as well, you can start doing like plyometrics, like box jumps, box jumps, squat jumps, whatever you need to do. Even little things like working on your vertical as well. And then for your core, there's so many core exercises. I don't think I need to go through, the core exercises you can do. Like I said, sit-ups. You can do different sort of cable rolls, Russian twists. There's so many that you can do. But in my opinion, those are the two main muscle groups. So your legs and your core, these are the most important aspects. In terms of strength for a footballer, I feel like these are the two most important muscle groups that you need to work to actually, have strength. Because in football, like I said, you see a lot of players who are good at protecting the ball. You see guys like Neymar, guys like Grealish, guys like Hazard. They don't necessarily, have wide shoulders or ripped, have a big chest. You don't normally see that. More time it's just that they have great core stability, and obviously they have powerful legs. Like even when you do those leg exercises, yeah, you can do exercises like hip thrust. Now, hip thrusts normally work on mainly your glutes, and I'm not trying to say that you have to build up big glutes, but you need your glutes to be strong. Because take a guy like Hazard. Everyone knows about Hazard. Everyone knows the joke about Hazard that he's got a big bum. And even Yaya Toure was talking about when he was talking to Declan Rice. Yaya Toure was like, yo, when Hazard got the ball, any single time you go try to tackle Hazard, he just put his body in front. He'll just put his bum in front of you, and you could never get the ball.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Because this game, he was taking the ball, no one can catch him. Because he have a different posterior. He's massive.
People don't realize, like, his dribbling was good, but his low center of gravity, the way he turned and used his bum and body.
That's the thing. Is that one time I was explaining that to one journalist, he was laughing at me.
Yeah, he don't understand.
He said, no, but why are you talking about these bums? I said, but it is little one. He's small and his bum is there. When you put your feet, you put his bum ass like that and you turn. And they can say to them.
That is true. It's true. You can't stop it. People don't understand.
And the thing is, people laugh at it, but it's so effective. Because Hazard, any single time someone will try and get the ball, he just sort of contort his body across, and then they can never get the ball. You understand? But obviously, like I said, I'm not telling you to, go get big glutes like Hazard, but you need to have strong glutes, you understand? You don't need to necessarily have big muscles as a footballer, but you need to have strong muscles, you understand? So I'm talking about, like I said, when I'm talking about legs, I'm talking about exercises for your quads, for your hamstrings, and for your glutes, and then also your core as well. So that's the next point. If you want to get bodied off the ball less easily, if you want to, hold on to the ball whilst you're going in for challenges, whilst maybe you're trying to dribble, get out of a certain scenario, and you find yourself getting pushed off the ball, getting brushed off the ball. Obviously, like I said, do your upper body exercises as well, but mainly for footballers, I'd say work on your core and then work all the different parts of your legs as well. This is what's actually going to give you that stability, that power, that explosiveness to, one, hold on to the ball, and then once you've held on to the ball, actually get away from your man, and then obviously make a decision afterwards. And then the last point about ball retention is literally to not think about it so much. So like I was saying at the start of the video about how I used to, literally count how many times I lost the ball in my head, and I'll be like, yo, I can't lose the ball more than 4 times today. I can't lose the ball more than 3 times today. I feel like once it's stuck in your mind, once you keep thinking about it, I feel like you just end up being hesitant on the ball. You end up being a little bit scared on the ball, a little bit apprehensive. Whereas when you don't really think about it and you just go out there and you just sort of play and you just sort of trust your training beforehand, you trust that, you've been working on, like I said before, you've been working on, checking your shoulders a lot more. You've been working on stuff like the power in your legs, the strength in your core. Once you trust that you've been working on those things, and you've actually, like I said, you've been putting in the work, and you trust that the hard work has paid off. Once you get onto the pitch, it's sort of a thing where you just sort of go onto the pitch and you just play freely. You understand? You don't have to think about how many times am I going to lose the ball today. Even if you do lose the ball, you just carry on. It's a 90-minute game, you know what I'm saying? That it's one action in a 90-minute game. Just literally just think about that. Anytime you lose the ball, just be like, yo, it's just one action in a 90-minute game. There's so much time to, resurrect the mistake. There's so much time to, put the mistake right. Because to be honest, think about it. You could lose the ball first time you get the ball, you could lose it. But if you go on later in the game to score a hat trick, nobody's thinking about that time that you lost the ball in the second minute of the game. You understand? Unless maybe it leads to a goal. But if it doesn't lead to a goal and you end up, scoring a hat trick or putting in a man of the match performance, nobody's thinking about that time you lost the ball in the second minute. No one's thinking about that time you lost the ball in the 57th minute. You understand? It's like, as long as you don't lose in a stupid area, like I said. But if it's just in an area where it doesn't lead to a goal or it doesn't cause too much damage to your team, nobody's gonna when you score a hat trick in a game, no one's gonna think back to the time that you lost the ball in the 69th minute. You understand? So literally just take it every minute throughout the game. Just tell yourself, yo, it's a 90-minute game. Doesn't matter if I lose the ball. Yo, even if I lose the ball 5 times, but I'm trying to be positive, it doesn't really matter, because like I said, I'm playing the right pass. Maybe the execution wasn't right, but yeah, if you end up losing the ball, let's say you end up losing the ball 8 times or something, but you finish the game with 3 assists. Nobody's really gonna mind. Nobody's really gonna mind you taking risks, you trying to set up your teammates for scoring goals. Because even if you take a guy like Kevin De Bruyne, I remember Kevin De Bruyne was saying that, the pass completion stats, he doesn't really like it because he said that he'd rather have like a 50% pass completion, but he's actually creating chances for his team. Maybe he has a game where he's created 5 chances and he's got 2 assists. He said he'd rather have that than have a game where he's got 100% pass completion, but the whole game he's just passing backwards and sideways. You understand? So literally just take it like that, because once you actually start thinking about how many times am I losing the ball, or you start thinking about things like pass completion, you start seeing stats about midfielders like Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, they never lose the ball, blah blah blah. They have 100% pass completion. That's gonna seep into your brain, and you're gonna go out onto the pitch thinking, to be a good midfielder, I need to do that. I can never lose the ball. You understand? Which is simply not the case, because there's times, even when I watch De Bruyne, there's times where this guy loses the ball. This guy loses the ball a lot, but he loses the ball because he's trying to be positive. You understand? Because he's trying to influence the game. He's trying to affect the game. And let's be honest, when he ends the season with like 20 assists, nobody's thinking about all the times he lost the ball. Nobody's thinking about all the times where he crossed the ball and he got intercepted. Nobody's thinking about all the times he played a through ball and he just didn't get it to his target, or maybe he underhit the pass or he overhit the pass. At the end of the season, when he's got 20 assists and Man City end up winning the league, nobody's thinking about that. You understand? Nobody's thinking about it. Everyone's just saying how great of a creator KDB is, how vital he is to his team, how consistent he's been, how he's one of the best midfielders in the world. You understand? So, in my opinion, the last point: don't get caught up in your mistakes. Basically, don't get caught up in trying to have the perfect game, because the perfect game doesn't exist. Ultimately, that's another thing. When I was young, one of the things I did wrong, I was always looking to have the perfect game. You understand? I remember there was one game where I literally, because like I said, I used to count how many times I lost the ball because I wanted that perfect game. I remember there was one time where I was playing a game, I completed all my passes, and then I remember I gave the ball away once. I think I gave the ball away once, but then we ended up winning anyway. I gave the ball away once. It didn't really end up leading to a goal or a big chance, but then I remember coming away from the game and I was disappointed. Even though we won, even though I'd had a good game, I was still just thinking about that one pass. I was still just thinking about, I shouldn't have lost the ball. I would have had 100% completion rate. You understand? And like I said, that's not really a good mentality to have, because like I said, obviously that day I had a good game, but that sort of mentality also leads to bad games. It leads to games where, them games where maybe you've lost the ball 2 or 3 times and your confidence is absolutely gone. Your confidence is shattered. That's what would happen to me. And to be honest, even if you lose the ball, for your first 3 passes, let's say you lose the ball every single time you got the ball and you try to play a pass for your first 3 passes, you lost the ball. Like I said, you just need to have the mentality of like, it's a 90-minute game. You understand? It's a 90-minute game. You understand? Like, I can easily resurrect this. If I get 2 assists, or if I score 2 goals at the end of the game, no one's gonna remember these 3 passes. You understand? You have to have that mentality. Whereas when I was younger and I'd lose the ball, maybe my first 2 or 3 times I get the ball, I lose it, or maybe I only complete like 1 out of 5 passes in like the first 20 minutes. My head would go. I'd absolutely crumble. My confidence was shattered. I'll stop showing for the ball. I was scared to receive the ball. Even when I got it, I was moving a bit hesitant, I was overthinking things. And you don't want to have that mentality. You want to go out onto the football pitch and you just want to be able to play. Your mind should just be focusing on, yo, this is a battle. Like, I'm just here to help. I'm just here to help my team win. You understand? No matter what happens during the game, throughout the game, even if I lose the ball, or even if I play an absolute peach of a through ball, doesn't matter. I'm still here to do my job. I'm still here to help my team win. So yeah, literally those are my 3 points to improving your ball retention. Literally checking your shoulders so you actually know what to do, so you know what's around you. Literally working on your legs and your core, in my opinion, because like I said, your core stabilizes you. It prevents defenders, you know, bodying you, getting you off balance, so you can sort of, you know, so you can retain the ball and then do your next action. You take a guy like Messi. Messi, like I said, he's not the biggest player at all. 5'7". I don't know how much he weighs, but he's not the biggest player. But why do people struggle to get him off the ball? Obviously, you got his agility aspect of it. But even when people get tight to him, even when people, you know, put their shoulder into him, you know, try maybe give him a forearm, he's still there because he's got amazing core strength. His legs are probably strong as well. And yeah, it's that balance. That balance comes from his core. And then the last point, literally, to not think about your mistakes when it comes to ball retention. Don't think about how many times you lost the ball. Don't think about how many passes you completed. In my opinion, just go out and play. Just have that mentality of like, alright, next action. Don't think about, have short-term memory. That's how I would describe it. Literally just have short-term memory. If you lose a ball, just forget about it. It never happened, on to the next. Even if you play $1 million pass, even if you played the most beautiful assist you've ever played in your life, literally short-term memory. Just be like, alright, cool, it never happened, on to the next. I need to do more. Just sort of have that mentality. Don't start dwelling on your mistakes, because like I said, I've been there where it's the 70th minute of the game, and instead of, you know, being in the present moment, instead of me actually doing stuff to help my team win, I'm still thinking about mistakes I made in the 20th minute. You understand? And like I said, when you do that, you're only gonna hold yourself back. So yeah, that's all I've got to say for this vid. Hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.